In September 2020, IB gave us 12 core ToK concepts. Thank you, IB. They're very useful. However, we're now thinking some other important concepts have possibly been missed out. Let's look at some of those neglected concepts. Welcome to ToK Today. I'm Daniel, and today we're looking at concepts 5 to 8 in the list of 12 ToK concepts that could have been used by IB rather than the 12 that IB gave us. In the previous video, we looked at concepts 1 to 4, and if you missed that video, I'll link it above. Also in that video, I put in some caveats, which I'll remind you of now. I'm not suggesting replacing the current 12 concepts. They're all good, worthy and useful concepts. Secondly, I know that the existence of these 12 concepts doesn't necessarily exclude the use of any other concepts. Obviously, we constantly use concepts way beyond the core 12 concepts in the ToK course. The alternative concepts that I'm suggesting here are merely proposed as being equally worthy of inclusion in the core. So without any further ado, let's look at some alternative concepts that could have made the list. Concept number 5 that could have made the list of alternative ToK concepts is construct or constructed. Now, we used to say that ToK is the study of the ways in which knowledge is constructed. Now, that's a fairly mind-blowing idea when you actually get your head around it. The study of the way that knowledge is constructed. I sometimes see students in my class suddenly come to a realization of the gravity of that statement. They look awestruck. They look terrified, both at the same time. Now, I'm not sure whether we're still supposed to be teaching that ToK is the study of knowledge construction, but we're definitely still using knowledge constructs in our teaching. For example, the official ToK concept list includes power, culture, perspective, interpretation, evidence, etc. These are all constructs. Well, they are if you're a constructivist. And whilst we're here talking about constructivism, I'll just mention that I made a really cool video series on ToK and constructivism that I'll link above. Well, it's cool to me, and probably cool to you if you're watching this video. Back to the concept of construct. I think it's at the core of ToK, and if we explicitly taught it, so many other parts of the course would be far more accessible to the students. I often find that students who find ToK difficult do so because they don't understand the concept of constructed knowledge. So therefore, let's put construct on our list. The 6th concept that I'm nominating for the alternative list is causality or causation. So much of the ToK course is about establishing the grounds for knowledge and knowing. And causation is such a primary method for establishing knowledge, particularly in AOK's human and natural sciences. I often meet students who find it difficult to evaluate human and scientific knowledge because they've not been taught causality. Obviously, causality has good links with IB's ToK concepts of certainty, explanation, and evidence. Finally, causality should be on this list because the best university in the world has as its mission statement to know the causes of things. The 7th concept that we're putting on our list is identity. Now, with this concept, we're cheating a little bit. I initially stated that none of the alternative concepts are proposed as replacements for IB's 12 core concepts. Well, we're going to break that rule now. I propose that we replace the concept of truth with identity. This is not because I don't think that truth is an important concept. I think that it's super important. But I think that it's misused as a concept in ToK. Truth is an incredibly complicated and complex concept, and to use it appropriately in ToK requires a good understanding of a range of other concepts, including perspective, culture, interpretation, values, and explanation. And I often find that students use the concept of truth to mean objective, external, fixed knowledge, which at best is a very limited definition of the concept of truth. I believe that if we taught the relationship between identity and knowledge, we could scaffold up to a better understanding of truth. The 8th concept to be included on our alternative list is in honour of the inner Kantian in all of us, so it's got to be category. The concept of category could also be replaced with the concept of labelling. They do pretty much the same job here. Now, a lot of ToK relates to the organisation of knowledge within the knowledge framework. Inevitably, we end up discussing categories and categorisation a lot of the time. However, category should be on the ToK concept list because it joins together the organisation of knowledge with the ethics of knowledge. Without getting too heavy into Kant's theory of the categorical imperative, what Kant shows is that the relationship between knowing, behaviour and responsibility is mutually inclusive. The emphasis on universality and absolutism in Kant's theory makes a nice contrast with the more relativist concepts already present on the ToK list, such as perspective and interpretation. Okay, so that brings us to the end of part 2 of this series on ToK concepts that we could have had. Join me in the third video in this 3-part series to look at alternative concepts number 9 to number 12. I hope that you found this video thought-provoking and maybe even entertaining, and if you did, then a like, a comment or even a subscribe are very much appreciated. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next video. Stay ToKtastic, my friends.